There are moments in life when nothing seems to make sense. You pray, you believe, you do the right things, yet the situation looks worse instead of better. Doors close, people walk away, plans fall apart, and in those moments the enemy whispers, "God has forgotten you." But hear this clearly today. God is not silent, God is not absent, and God is not late. He is rearranging things in your favor right now. Just because you cannot see his hands moving does not mean he is not working. Some of the greatest miracles happen behind the scenes, in the unseen places where God is shifting circumstances, removing obstacles, and aligning people and opportunities for your good. What feels like delay is often divine preparation. What feels like loss is often divine protection. God is a master strategist. He never wastes any confusion or waiting seasons. You must understand this truth. When God begins to rearrange things, it often looks messy before it looks miraculous. He may remove people you thought would stay forever. He may shut down plans you were emotionally attached to. He may allow discomfort, stretching, and uncertainty. But every move he makes has purpose. He is not destroying your life. He is redesigning it. Think about it. If God is going to elevate you, he first has to reposition you. If he is going to bless you publicly, he often prepares you privately. If he is going to take you higher, he has to remove what cannot go with you. That relationship that ended, that opportunity that disappeared, that season that closed, it was not rejection, it was redirection. Right now, God is aligning things you never could. He is moving people you haven't met yet. He is opening doors you didn't even know existed. He is creating favor in places you haven't arrived at yet. While you sleep, while you pray, while you cry, while you wait, God is working. Do not judge your future by your current circumstances. What you see today is not the final picture. God specializes in sudden turnarounds. One phone call, one opportunity, one divine connection, one breakthrough moment can change everything. And when it happens, you will look back and realize that every delay, every closed door, and every painful season was part of God's rearranging process. This is not the time to quit. This is not the time to doubt. This is not the time to grow bitter or fearful. This is the time to trust. Trust that God knows what he is doing. Trust that he sees what you cannot see. Trust that he is faithful even when life feels unstable. When God rearranges things, he does it with precision. He removes confusion and replaces it with clarity. He removes struggle and replaces it with strength. He removes chaos and replaces it with peace. You may not like the process, but you will love the outcome. Stay faithful, stay obedient, stay prayerful. Keep speaking words of faith, even when your emotions say otherwise. Keep walking, even when you don't know the full path. God does not need your understanding. He needs your trust. And when the breakthrough comes, when the favor shows up, when the blessings begin to flow, those who doubted you will be shocked, not because of what you did, but because of what God did. They will see that it was never your strength, your connections, or your abilities. It was always God rearranging things in your favor. So take heart today, lift your head, rest your spirit. The confusion will make sense. The pain will be redeemed. The waiting will be worth it. God is rearranging things in your favor right now, even if you can't see it yet. When it comes to divine timing, most of us live life according to human schedules. We set goals, make plans, and expect results according to our understanding of time. Yet there is a higher order at work, a divine orchestration that far surpasses human reasoning. God's timing is never early and never late. It is always perfect. There are moments in life when you feel delayed, when opportunities seem to pass by, when your efforts appear fruitless. It is during these times that God is actively rearranging the circumstances around you, preparing the path for a future that aligns with his greater plan. Every delay, every obstacle, every closed door has a purpose. These moments are not random, nor are they signs of rejection. Instead, they are God's way of molding your situation, positioning you in the exact place you need to be for the breakthrough He has prepared. Human planning often operates in linear steps, one thing at a time, expecting progress. In God's hand, orchestrating events in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Many times we fail to see the hidden opportunities within our waiting period. God is using these moments to teach you patience, to develop your character, to refine your faith. While you may feel frustrated or anxious, these seasons are meant to prepare you for the greater favor that is about to be released. The human mind often wants immediate results, but God's plan requires preparation. Just as a farmer does not harvest immediately after planting, so too must you allow the seeds of your efforts and prayers to mature in God's perfect timing. Patience in waiting is not passive. It is an active trust that God is moving, even when you cannot see it. In these moments, your role is not to force outcomes or manipulate circumstances, but to remain faithful, to continue acting in obedience, and to cultivate gratitude for what is already in motion. Many people miss their divine appointments because they act prematurely. They grow impatient and attempt to create their own solutions, bypassing the meticulous work God is performing behind the scenes. This is why it is crucial to recognize the subtle ways in which God orchestrates timing. Sometimes what seems like a delay is actually a divine repositioning, ensuring that when your breakthrough arrives, it will be complete, lasting, and aligned with His purpose. Trusting God's timing also requires faith in His wisdom. While we often measure time in hours, days, months, and years, God operates beyond these constraints. A delay of a few. Understanding God's rearrangement in your favor requires a deep awareness of His sovereignty and how He works through circumstances that may initially seem unfavorable. Often, life presents us with challenges, setbacks, and disappointments that appear to block our progress, yet these very situations are often the tools God uses to position us for a greater breakthrough. It is crucial to recognize that not every obstacle is a curse. Many are divine redirects, guiding you away from what is harmful and toward what is truly beneficial. When you face rejection, failure, or unexpected change, it can feel like the world is against you. But these moments are frequently God's way of clearing a path for something far superior than what you could have envisioned. His rearrangements are strategic. God knows the people you need to meet, the lessons you need to learn, and the timing required for your success. A closed door may protect you from an opportunity that is not in alignment with His plan, while an unexpected delay may provide the necessary growth or preparation needed for the breakthrough that is already on its way. Many fail to recognize these divine movements because they measure progress according to their own expectations, rather than trusting the unseen hand of God. Faith becomes essential in these moments. Believing that God is actively working on your behalf, even when circumstances suggest otherwise, is what sets apart those who experience miraculous favor from those who remain stuck in frustration. Your response to challenges reveals the depth of your trust in Him. Instead of resisting or becoming discouraged, embracing the situation with faith allows God's plan to unfold without obstruction. Prayer and patience are critical components of this process. As you seek God and submit to His will, you align yourself with His divine timing and positioning. It is in these moments of quiet obedience that God performs the unseen work that eventually manifests as tangible favor. Understanding the principle of divine rearrangement also involves recognizing that God often works through other people, encounters, connections, and relationships that seem coincidental are frequently orchestrated by God to bring you closer to your purpose. Someone who appears in your life at the right moment may provide the resources, encouragement, or opportunity necessary to catalyze your breakthrough. These divine appointments require discernment and attentiveness so that you do not overlook the tools God is using to orchestrate His favor. Another key aspect is learning to trust the process even when it is uncomfortable. Life's rearrangements are rarely convenient, and they may challenge your patience, humility, or perseverance. People grow weary during seasons of waiting, but it is precisely in these seasons that God is at work behind the scenes. He is moving pieces into place, orchestrating events and aligning circumstances in ways that cannot be rushed or forced. Trusting Him fully means releasing control and believing that every situation, whether joyous or challenging, is part of a greater plan that will ultimately work in your favor. God's rearrangement is also about timing. Breakthroughs and blessings often arrive at the precise moment when they can have maximum impact, both for your life and the lives of others around you. Acting prematurely or taking matters into your own hands can disrupt the divine order. Patience, prayer, and obedience are essential as they allow God's timing to unfold perfectly. In summary, recognizing and embracing God's rearrangement involves faith, discernment, patience, and obedience. It means seeing beyond immediate circumstances and trusting that every closed door, delay, or unexpected challenge is part of a larger plan designed for your ultimate good. When you align yourself with this divine orchestration, you position yourself to receive favor, blessings, and breakthroughs that surpass human understanding. God's hand is always at work, shifting circumstances, guiding relationships, and preparing you to step into a future filled with His perfect provision and abundant grace. Those who can see His rearrangement in action will not be discouraged by delays or setbacks because they understand that God is always moving in their favor, even when it is invisible to the human eye. When God is rearranging things in your favor, one of the most powerful yet challenging aspects is learning to fully trust His timing and surrender control. This is where many people struggle because human nature wants quick answers, immediate results, and visible proof. We want to know when, how, and through whom our breakthrough will come. But God often works in ways that require us to walk by faith and not by sight. His timing is never accidental, and it is never late, even when it feels delayed. What appears to be a pause in your life is often a season of precise preparation. God knows exactly when you are ready, when others involved are ready, and when circumstances are aligned to produce the greatest impact. If things happen too early, they could damage you instead of blessing you. That is why waiting is not punishment, it is protection. During these waiting seasons, God is strengthening your character, deepening your faith, and teaching you dependence on Him rather than on outcomes. Many people pray for blessings but are not prepared to carry the responsibility that comes with them. God's rearrangement ensures that when the blessing arrives, it will not destroy you but elevate you. Trusting God's timing also means releasing the need to compare your journey with others. Comparison creates frustration and blinds you to the unique way God is working in your life. Someone else's breakthrough may look faster or easier, but you do not see the full story behind their journey. God deals with each person individually according to purpose, calling, and destiny. When you compare, you begin to question God's faithfulness, even though He has been consistently working behind the scenes. Trust restores peace in your heart and allows you to remain steady even when progress feels slow. It helps you understand that delays are not denials, and silence does not mean absence. God may be quiet, but he is never inactive. Every moment of waiting is filled with divine movement that you may not yet perceive. Surrender is another critical part of this process. True surrender means placing your plans, desires, and expectations into God's hands and being willing to let him change them if necessary. This is not easy because it requires humility and faith. Sometimes God rearranges by removing what you thought you needed. He may take away certain relationships, opportunities, or comforts, not to harm you, but to free you from limitations you did not recognize. Letting go can be painful, especially when you are attached to a certain outcome. But God sees beyond your present emotions and understands what will truly fulfill you. When you surrender, you stop fighting God's process and start cooperating with it. This cooperation accelerates his work in your life. Resistance prolongs pain, but surrender brings peace even before the breakthrough arrives. Trusting God's rearrangement also means remaining obedient during uncertain times. Obedience is often tested when instructions do not make sense or results are not immediate. God may ask you to take steps that feel small, insignificant, or even risky. Yet these steps are often critical pieces of a larger puzzle. Obedience demonstrates faith, and faith activates divine intervention. When you obey without seeing the full picture, you show God that you trust his wisdom above your own understanding. This kind of faith invites supernatural favor. God often responds to obedience with unexpected provision, protection, and open doors. Even when obedience leads you through discomfort, it ultimately positions you for greater blessings. Another important element is perseverance. God's rearrangement requires endurance because the process is rarely instant. Many people quit just before the breakthrough because the pressure becomes too intense or the waiting too long. Perseverance keeps you aligned with God's plan when emotions fluctuate and circumstances shift. It reminds you that what God has promised will come to pass, regardless of how long it takes. Perseverance is fueled by hope, and hope is sustained by faith. When you hold on to hope, you remain spiritually alert and ready to receive what God is preparing. Those who endure often experience blessings that are far greater than what they initially prayed for. Trusting God's timing also reshapes how you see challenges. Instead of viewing them as obstacles, you begin to see them as tools. Challenges refine your character, sharpen your discernment, and strengthen your spiritual maturity. God uses pressure to produce growth and uses adversity to build resilience. What once discouraged you now becomes evidence that God is doing a deeper work within you. Each challenge you overcome becomes a testimony of his faithfulness and power. Over time, you realize that nothing was wasted, not the tears, not the delays, not the disappointments. Everything played a role in shaping who you are becoming. Ultimately, trusting God's rearrangement transforms your relationship with him. You move from seeking only blessings to seeking his presence and guidance. You learn to rest in his promises and find peace in uncertainty. When you fully trust his timing and surrender control, fear loses its grip, anxiety fades, and confidence in God's plan grows. You begin to walk with assurance, knowing that even if you do not understand the process, the outcome is secure. God is faithful to complete what he started, and his rearrangement will always lead you to a place of purpose, fulfillment, and favor far beyond what you could have planned on your own. As we come to the close of this message, remember this truth deeply. God is not distant, confused, or delayed about your life. He is actively rearranging things in your favor, even when you cannot see it, even when it does not feel that way. What looks like loss is often alignment. What feels like delay is often preparation. What seems like rejection is frequently protection. God never wastes seasons, tears, or prayers. Every moment you have walked through has been shaping you, strengthening you and positioning you for what is next. Do not judge God's work by what your eyes can see right now. Heaven operates on a higher order, and the pieces are moving according to divine timing, not human pressure. If something has been removed from your life, trust that it was no longer serving God's purpose for your future. If a door closed suddenly, believe that God is steering you away from something that could not sustain the blessing He has prepared for you. You are not being pushed backward, you are being repositioned forward. Hold on to faith when the process feels uncomfortable. God often rearranges before He releases. He reshapes before He reveals. He prepares the ground before the harvest. Stay obedient, stay prayerful, stay patient. The same God who allowed the shaking is the God who promises stability on the other side. What He is setting up will not only bless you, but it will testify to others that His hand is upon your life. So walk forward with confidence. Trust the unseen work. Rest in the assurance that God's favor is already moving ahead of you, opening the right doors, aligning the right people, and releasing the right opportunities at the perfect time. Your season is shifting. What God is arranging now will soon make sense, and when it does, you will look back and realize that everything truly worked together for your good.